Hi, I'm Tim. Welcome to Watchbox, and thanks for logging on. If you love this watch, email me, tmosso@thewatchbox.com. It's in the description below. Your purchase and pricing email question line for buying this or any watch you see on any Watchbox platform. Reach out to me directly. Email me at tmosso@thewatchbox.com. Today, we are discussing an absolute masterpiece on multiple levels, rarely seen and exquisite. This is the handcrafted Vacheron Constantin Malte Openworked, reference 43080. The watch measures 35.5 millimeters in white gold, and thanks to caliber 1120 SQ, it is ultra thin at 6 millimeters and 40.6 millimeters from lug tip to lug tip, with a 19 millimeter spacing between the lugs. This model, which has been around for approximately 20 years. It's not currently in production, but it represents one of the earliest examples of the modern Malte collection, which before it was a tonneau case collection, was a collection of watches with this distinctive stepped lug profile. So the watch on my wrist, which is 16 centimeters circumference, wears quite beautifully. It's flat enough to fit underneath any cuff. It's short enough across the wrist that it can fit on a wrist of any size, even a child's wrist, so it's a unisex option. It goes without saying. It is a dress watch, though you could wear it with some flair and a short sleeve if you want. The timepiece is not overtly branded, creating rare discretion for a Holy Trinity haute de gamme timepiece. Taking a quick look at the strap, you can see that it's thin and elegant like the watch. There's no bolstering. It's large rectangular scale alligator leather, semi-gloss finish, monotone stitch, sheer cut side, and then calf skin on the underside. And you can see this is a brand new Vacheron Constantin factory strap with a matching Maltese cross white gold pin buckle. The timepiece is gorgeous. Now, I mentioned that the Malte collection originally was not a collection of tonneau cases. Today it's tonneau cases, but back in 2000 when the collection launched, it was these large expanding fluted lugs that distinguished the watches. You saw them across the Malte collection, which of course is named after the Maltese cross, which is the logo and the emblem of Vacheron Constantin. The lugs are welded on, so the case and the lugs are built separately, then welded together, then hand finished to remove the welded joint between lug and case. So this is a hand finished case. You get handcrafted content before we even get into the movement. You can see there's a VC cross on the crown itself. You can also see that there's a little bit of a step to the bezel. The case flank is rounded, and then the case back is stepped back somewhat to make it look even thinner when it's on the wrist. The bezel's almost completely flat. And then we get to the dial, which is really one and the same as the caliber 1120 SQ. Caliber 1120 is Vacheron's version of the JLC 920, an ultra-thin automatic launched in 1967 for Vacheron, Patek, and AP. Only those three brands ever used it. AP and Vacheron still use it to this day. And of course, on the Patek side, it powered the original Nautilus Jumbo. So this watch features the 1120 in fully skeletonized and engraved form. Now, they start off with electro-spark erosion to skeletonize the movement, the bridges and the plates. From there, everything's done by hand, including all of the engraving, as well as the mirrored anglage that's rendered on the edge of every engraved surface. So normally on a bridge, you have a solid bridge, and then just the edge features the anglage beveling. Here, everything does, because every side of the bridge has its own facet, internally and externally. Everything that stands alone and carries a pivot has a beveled edge. As a result, we have innumerable sharp inward angles where two bevels meet. We also have black polished screws. We also have an open wrought barrel, and you can see that the barrel has the Vacheron Constantin name on it with the Vacheron Maltese cross and the city of origin. The movement pivots on 36 jewels. It's a unidirectional automatic winder with a 40-hour power reserve. It beats away at 19,800 vibrations per hour. And it is absolutely razor thin, as this automatic movement is only 2.45 millimeters thick. And you can see that the watch uses blued steel, broadsword style hands. You can see the escapement, the balance, and the drivetrain from the dial side. And on the reverse side, you can see there's quite a bit to see, the fully skeletonized and engraved rotor, which has another Maltese cross. Note that they've engraved both the rotor and the 21-karat mass. If you look very carefully, you can see the Poisson de Genève on the balance cock. It is the Geneva Hallmark. This is a Geneva Hallmark movement, finished that standard. All screw heads are black polished with chamfered slots and chamfered circumference, and you can see that the barrel is skeletonized and open on both sides. You can also see that the stud holder as well as the regulator have been black polished. This is an exquisitely finished watch, 30 meters water resistant, and you should also know that the rotor is actually a beryllium ring that goes all the way around the movement, and then the mass sits on one side. It's borne by 4 ruby pivot jewels, the idea being that the rotor can be sunk in super close to the movement without colliding with the bridges or the plate should the watch be shocked or sustain impact on the wrist. So it's designed to be worn every day. A JLC Heritage Movement, magnificently improved by Vacheron in a gorgeously distinctive handcrafted case. Reach out to Team Mosso at thewatchbox.com for purchase and pricing details.